What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer update video. Things are starting to hot up late in August as the Arsenal transfer merry-go-round starts to liven up. It's been a little bit quiet for the last few weeks, and I have to admit, I'm starting to have this feeling that I used to have when Arsene Wenger was the manager, where, you know, we were constantly being linked with players, but towards the end of the transfer window, you kind of lost all belief that Arsenal were actually going to sign anyone. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, hoping that times have changed and that we do get some business done in terms of players coming into the football club. Big up to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Daily uploads, regular content, watch-alongs and all of that good stuff, people. Right, let's get into it. The year is 2022 and I know what you're thinking. Who we're being linked with again today? Wilfried Zaha is the main topic of discussion in terms of a linked move to Arsenal again. He's probably going in that list with Yann Villa, Gonzalo Higuain, Julian Draxler, Karim Benzema, all these players that we were famously linked with but never ended up signing. The funny thing is, Aubameyang and Lacazette were two players we were linked with for quite a while before. We did eventually get them over the line. Will Arsenal sign Wilfried Zaha? A story has come out over the last couple of days. Dean Jones has said that Wilfried Zaha is on a hit list for Arsenal of wingers to sign in this transfer window. Now, Zaha seems to divide opinion very much in the Arsenal fan base. I would say 50% of the Arsenal fan base would say, no, I don't want him. He's 29, he's too old, he doesn't fit the profile, he earns a large wage, he's very much an individual, and maybe doesn't look like a good mix when it looks like him and Mikel Arteta. That's what I think 50% of people would say. I think the other 50% would say Premier League experience, he's lethal when he's one-on-one with a fullback, he's an Arsenal fan, and maybe we should have signed him when we actually signed Nicolas Pepe. I have to admit, people, I'm kind of more in that category. I'm Wilfried Zaha FC, people, right? I would love to see Zaha at Arsenal. And it is a little bit of a contradiction to everything that Arsenal are doing. They want to sign younger players, players that are going to, you know, their value is going to go up over time. And I understand that. I'll give you my reasons why I would take Wilfried Zaha. Number one, if you look at the wingers at Arsenal now, Smith Rowe, Martinelli and Saka, they're still very inexperienced. You're still talking about young players. You're still talking about players that, you know, they haven't got years and years of experience at the top level and the know-how of the Premier League. So I think sometimes it helps to have at least one player that has a little bit more experience. I think 1v1 is as good as any winger in the Premier League. I say this time and time again. When he's at it, he's very much unplayable. We've seen it ourselves at Arsenal, how good he can be. Also, I do think sometimes nowadays in modern football, there's this kind of obsession with, oh, you're 28, 29, you're 30, you're finished, you can't be bought. Man United have just bought Casemiro. You know, Mo Salah's 30 years of age. Mahrez is 31. I think Casemiro's 30, actually. I don't necessarily think in the modern game that if you buy a 29-year-old, he's finished. I still think you could get 3-4 good years out of Zaha. Admittedly, the sell-on value will not be there. If you sell him in 3 or 4 years, he's not going to be worth it. The reason I would go for the deal, 1 year left on his contract, rumours that you could get him for 35 to 45 million, a boyhood Arsenal fan. Also, last season was his best season in the Premier League. 14 league goals last season in 33 appearances in a mid-table team. 3 Premier League goals in 3 games this season. I've got to admit, people, I would take him. I can understand why some people wouldn't take him, and I respect that, and I get it. He doesn't really fit with what Arteta's trying to do, but I do think sometimes you need those little bits of experience around the young team. So listen, give me your opinions. I know a lot of you will be saying it's paper talk, it won't happen, but would you take Wilfried Zaha for £40 million? Year left on his deal, Arsenal fan, or do you think he's just not the answer? Let me know. Preferably, he's better on the left-hand side. That's one thing that I would say goes against him. We probably more need the right winger in terms of, you know, what sided winger we need. So, but let me know in the comments. Wilfried Zaha, would you take him at Arsenal? £40 million. I'll be intrigued to hear your comments on this one, people. The reason that we are going to need a winger, people, is because one of our own wingers has left the football club. Nico Clark Pepe, Nicholas Pepe, has left the club. So much hype, enthusiasm, the famous celebration when he joined the football club. £72 million, the most expensive player in Arsenal's history. And it just didn't work. Emery didn't want him. Let's be honest. Emery wanted Zaha those few years ago. He never really took to him. He gave him chances, but he didn't. You could tell it wasn't his signing. And Arteta and him have just never gotten along the whole time he's been at the football club. He only started 5 Premier League games last season. He hasn't played 1 minute of football so far this season in the Premier League. He has joined Nice on loan for the season. No option to buy. They're only paying, I believe, 70% of his wages rather than the whole 130,000 a week. So, I mean, what's that? 30. So you take 30. They're going to pay about 90 grand a week, according to reports, of his wage until the end of the season. No option to buy, but I'm sure the clubs will negotiate if he was to do well. And Nice, obviously, they've signed Aaron Ramsey, former Arsenal player. They've signed Kasper Schmeichel from Leicester. They are owned by an English owner, English billionaire. It's the same guy that apparently wants to buy Manchester United. Good luck to Nicholas Pepe. Always thought he was a talented player. Does he not suit the Premier League? There were rumours that Leicester were prepared to pay his whole wage, and Arsenal were willing to accept that, but Pepe didn't want to join another Premier League club. Seems as if he just doesn't want to be in England, wants to get back in Ligue 1, in the French league, and prove himself over there. Best of luck to him. He does have 2 years left on his deal, so Arsenal are going to find themselves in one of two positions next season. Either he comes back to Arsenal with a year left, which wouldn't be great, or he does well at Nice and maybe they sign him on a permanent, or maybe another club comes in for him. Either way, I'm sure Arsenal fans will keep a close eye on him. Good luck to Nicholas Pepe. Just hasn't worked out for him, unfortunately. 27 years of age now, and he joins Nice on a season-long loan, people. So all the best to Nicholas Pepe. Right, we move on. We move on from Pepe. We've spoken about Zaha. Let's talk about potential replacements. Now, a player that we're being linked with today, a player we've spoken about previously, is Cody Gakpo of PSV. Now, the rumours over the past week have been that Gakpo is on a hit list of Manchester United. Apparently, he has the same agent as Eric Ten Hag. Now, it seems as if Manchester United's interest has cooled in Gakpo as they get closer to a deal for Anthony from Ajax. Well, Gakpo featured last night in a Champions League playoff against Rangers in Eindhoven. He played the full 90 minutes and they lost 1-0, and Rangers have qualified for the Champions League. And PSV Eindhoven, apologies, will join us in the Europa League against Arsenal. Now, it's believed that that has made PSV Eindhoven even more keen on a potential move for Cody Gakpo. And he could join Arsenal in this transfer window. Would you want to pay £40 million for Gakpo? And is he somebody that you would like to see come into the club during this transfer window? I have to admit, I haven't seen enough of him. I don't know how good he is, and I don't know if he is the answer. But it looks as if he could be available at a little bit of a reduced price now, with the fact that Eindhoven have not qualified for the Champions League. So would you go back in for Cody Gakpo? It was believed they wanted around £40 million. Rumours that it could be a little bit less with Eindhoven not qualifying for the Champions League. So let me know what you think about that one, people. The other winger that we've spoken about, of course, is Pedro Neto. This one seems to have gone quiet over the last day or two. There are now rumours that Wolves, they're not willing to accept less than the 50 million. And it is believed that Arsenal may not be willing to go as high as 50 million to bring Pedro Neto in there. They're willing to pay about 35, possibly 40 Are they prepared to go up to 50 million? I'm just not sure if that's the case at the moment. This deal could be a little bit difficult for Arsenal. We'll have to wait and see. I think this will depend on what players we can get rid of and if they're prepared to go as high as 50 million for Neto, which I think would be a little bit steep. But in this market, you know, maybe it would be the going rate. I think 40 million would be better value for money. Another player that looks as if he's on his way out is Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's been linked with West Ham over the past few days. Looks as if he could be on his way to Southampton. Now, Fabrizio Romano's revealed that Ainsley Maitland-Niles who has a one-year deal left. Arsenal had an option to extend it by another year, and they have triggered that clause in his contract, which now contracts Ainsley until the summer of 2024, meaning he has 2 years left on his deal. Southampton looking to sign him on loan with an option to buy, which would mean at the end of next season he would still have another year left. Southampton apparently willing to offer him more options of football in midfield and at right back. That appeals to him more than West Ham. I think West Ham want to use him more as a right back. So it looks as if Ainsley could be on his way to Southampton, 1 year loan and a 1 year extension to his contract. It wouldn't be a transfer update without the mention of Youri Tielemans. Arsenal once again, stories going around today in the press. Same old, same old. People saying that Arsenal are going to make a late offer for Youri Tielemans. It is just a case of clearing the wage bill. Looks as if with Pepe going, Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Bellerin potentially the next two, then maybe we see Arsenal make a move for a winger and a centre midfielder. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be totally honest, right? I get the impression that Arsenal are only going to sign one more player. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's two players. I hope we get an attacking player, and I hope we get a centre midfielder. I just have this impression that the fact Zinchenko can play midfield, the fact Vieira kind of plays in midfield, maybe not centre mid, maybe more attacking, the way they hyped up Sambi Lokonga, the way they love Granit Xhaka, I just have this feeling that Arsenal maybe will go more for the winger than the midfielder. Arteta said we need more firepower. That would make you think that we're looking more at a winger or an attacking player. I just have this feeling. I hope I'm wrong. I think we need a midfielder and a winger, but only time will tell. The transfer window closes next week, and we're going to have loads of content, free streams on the transfer window the day that it closes, people. Make sure you join me tomorrow. We will have the Europa League draw live tomorrow, and of course we'll have press conference reaction and all that in the afternoon tomorrow. So 2 streams coming up tomorrow, people. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you let me know in the comments about what we've spoken about. Would you take Zaha? Would you want Gakpo? Would you want Neto? Will we sign Tielemans? And what do you think about Nicolas Pepe joining Nice? Was it a case of wrong league, wrong player, or was he mismanaged, people? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.